Do you have any issues?
Hey, what's up? Good?
Oh, okay, coordinated here, right? 7 o'clock. It is 7 o'clock.
Okay, it is 7 o'clock.
Okay,
Okay, we are live.
thank you. I'm going to call to order the agenda for the business session meeting of the Township of West Windsor Township for December 22nd, 2025. Allison, can you please call the roll?
Gawas. Here. Jeevers.
Here.
Mandel.
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Whitfield.
Here.
Have we adequately noticed?
Yes, we adequately noticed on January 17th, 2025 to the Times in the Princeton packet, posted here at the Township Municipal Building, filed with the municipal clerk and posted on the Township website. Today we have also representing Parker McKay is Alexa Smith. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
Congratulations to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Today we have several ceremonial matters. And what we're going to do is we're going to read the proclamations. Council will be able to say a couple words. And then we're going to do one at the end of the three proclamations. Then council and mayor will get up and we'll take pictures with everybody so that we're not jumping up and down during three different times. I understand Martin's family is on the way, so I'm going to switch if Henry Jacobson's ready. And I will do Henry Jacobson's first, if that's okay with everybody.
Council President, I do believe Henry Jacobson could not make it tonight due to his health, but he is watching hopefully live on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, okay, we'll do them. I'll do Henry first. Yeah. Okay. Whereas Henry Jacobson, a longtime resident of West Windsor Township, has tendered his resignation as a member of the West Windsor Zoning Board of Adjustment, and whereas Mr. Jacobson provided leadership on the Zoning Board of Adjustment as a member and on the On-Site Inspection Review Subcommittee, and whereas he served as a volunteer on the Zoning Board of Adjustment from November 1999 until his resignation on October 1st, 2025, and whereas the Township Council wishes to recognize Henry Jacobson's outstanding achievements as a resident of West Windsor Township through his service on the Zoning Board of Adjustment and the Site Inspection Review Subcommittee, and now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Marathi and the Council of the Township of West Windsor on this 22nd day of December, 2025, hereby recognize the outstanding years of service that Henry Jacobson has so willingly given to the West Windsor Zoning Board of Adjustment. If there's nobody from his family here, Allison, can you make sure that gets to him? Maybe we could bring it to him?
Yes.
Let me know. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to do one for Mr. John Church, who our council is very familiar with. Whereas John Church, a longtime resident of West Windsor Township, has tendered his resignation as a member of the West Windsor Zoning Board of Adjustment, and whereas Mr. Church provided leadership on the Zoning Board of Adjustment as a member, and as whereas he served as a volunteer on the Zoning Board of Adjustment from July 1st, 2015 until December 1st, 2025, and whereas the Township Council wishes to recognize John Church's outstanding achievements as a resident of West Windsor Township through his service on the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Marathi and the Council of the Township of West Windsor on the 22nd day of December 2025 hereby recognize the outstanding years of service that John Church has so willingly given to the West Windsor Zoning Board of Adjustment. And if Martin, your family's still not here, then maybe,
Walk right.
oh, they're here. Okay.
Walk right.
Okay. Okay. Here. Does anybody want to give a couple of comments about John Church while we're waiting here? Well,
Well, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Church. You have one consistent audience that we always have, so thank you for doing that and all your work and hard work for the zoning board and all the guidance that you have provided us. Thank you.
Linda?
Yeah, John, thank you for your service, and thank you for coming out to almost all of our meetings. And we really appreciate that. And you give us public comment and you come out, and that is very thoughtful of you. So we can always count on you always to ask the thought-provoking questions before voting, and you have a keen interest in land use matters. And you're always vocal about that, even here at the council. And we very much appreciate, that dedication to all of us here and your presence. So thank you very much.
Sure, I'd like to say something. Mr. Church, you've always been a very integral part of this community, and we appreciate everything you have done. We appreciate sometimes when you've challenged us, you've made us better. You've actually questioned so much. And you just have really been a big part of this community, and we've never had to push you to attend meetings. You've always been a regular, which we sometimes charge a lot in the community, a lot of people in the community to come to these meetings, but we've never had to do that with you. So you've been very, very important to this community, and we thank you for everything you've done. Thank you, sir.
John, I'm trying to think of how many years I know you. And you've always been doing something in service to this community, even before zoning board. And I think the community really owes you a lot. You've always been very honest. You've always spoken your mind. The total non-politician, but somebody who tells the truth as you see it. Sometimes agrees, sometimes don't agree, but I always know where it's coming from, and that's very important to me. So thanks. Mayor, did you want to say a couple words?
Before I got elected to council, I served 1 year on zoning board with some of these people. So I served with both Henry and John, and Henry's not here, but very conscientious. Unlike planning board, zoning board members have to go and look at the project. I forgot what the committee is called. 3 people. Henry was on that committee for many times, and he did it for a very long time. So thank you him for his service. John's service extends beyond zoning board. And John is not afraid of giving his advice. If I remember correctly, once you counted every fire hydrant in the township? You counted every fire hydrant in the township? When they were charging us, when we were charging us
You were
for,
on a bicycle and you counted every
yeah,
fire
so
hydrant.
no, they were charging us for fire hydrants, the township, and I believe this was before my time, before I got on council. But John went and counted every fire hydrant in the township. So after your retirement, I have a project. The charges for lights also, I want to count every lights, PSENG charges us for lights, so something. But no, seriously, he has been very conscientious, not just on zoning board, but council, and talking about various topics, Avalon, and he's not afraid of giving his opinion to me on various topics, and we have had conversations about that outside of the council meeting. And every time I submit a budget, when council members complain about the budget, I say it has John's seal of approval. It means a lot. He reads the budget as thoroughly as every council member and knows about the budget as much as everyone else. So thank you very much for your service, and you will be missed. Both you and Henry will be missed. Thank you.
If we'd like to talk about Henry, Dan, do you want to say anything? No? Sonia?
I just want to thank Henry for his services. I've not known him as much as I've known John Church, but thank you for your services. I know you are watching.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Henry for his decade-long service to West Windsor. The time that you have spent carefully evaluating applications is very, very much appreciated. Your expertise will be missed on the zoning board, and we wish you good health.
I echo the same sentiments as my council colleagues. Thank you, Henry, for your service to the community. Truly appreciate everything that you have done. Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Henry for his years of service on the zoning board. And by the way, Mayor, planning board members do go out and look at the properties. But Henry had a special job of doing that, and that's always a difficult thing if you have to come back telling other people what you found. And I really appreciate that he's done that. Okay. Mayor, you already said something, or did you want to say anything else about Henry? Did you want to say anything else about Henry? Did you want to say anything else about Henry?
No, I didn't say.
Good. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to Martin. Martin Whitfield was elected to the West Windsor Township Council on November 2nd, 2021 for a 4-year term through January 14th, 2026. And whereas during his term on council, Martin also served as Board of Recreations Commissioner Liaison 1/1/22 through 12/31/22, Human Relations Council Liaison for several years, Parking Authority Liaison, Shade Tree Commission Liaison, and a Class 3 member on the Planning Board from 1/15/2024 through 1/14/2026. And whereas before joining the council, Martin was active in local civic life, including being elected to the West Windsor Plainsboro Regional School District Board of Education and general manager of the West Windsor Athletic Club. And whereas Martin is a dedicated volunteer in the community, exhibiting the highest ideals of community service and working constantly to bring our diverse community together by emphasizing what we have in common instead of our differences. And whereas Martin trailblazed diversity on our Township Council by becoming the first African-American man to be elected to and serve on our council. And whereas we, the members of the West Windsor Township Council, along with Mayor Marathi, wish to recognize Martin's dedication and service to the residents of West Windsor, now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Himantha Marathi and the Township Council of the Township of West Windsor, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, expresses their deep appreciation for the service that Martin has faithfully given the council and the residents of West Windsor Township. Thank you. Moving along. Should we go down? Would you like to say something, Dan?
Sure. Well, Martin and I have only overlapped here for 2 years, but it's been a pleasure working with you. One thing that I think he's taught everybody is how important it is to use your voice and to express in ways that bring the community together and not apart. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing where your journey takes you next. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Martin, I've known you for much longer than you have been on the council, and we have been on the council together as well. Thank you for everything. I'm going to miss your short messages and comments, not so short. From the time when you were on Board of Ed and, I was a PTA board member at that time. And we have seen a lot and worked for our community. You have always been the person I look forward to and look up to because, your main goal is to bring the community together. And that's what I aspire to as well. So thank you for your service. I'm going to miss you here. But we will see you around town. You're not going far, so you're here.
Thank you.
So Martin, we ran together 4 years ago. So that's how we first really got to know one another. I always enjoyed working with you on council. And due to your urging, someday maybe we'll have a sports facility or two in West Windsor. And both of us share a love of, I guess, college basketball too. And I almost called him when Duke lost Saturday night play because they did not play very well. But anyway, you always gave us words of building together an even stronger community where we appreciate one another, even if we disagree on viewpoints, whether it was at your previous job at the WAC or on the school board or coaching a sports team. You inspired many adults and children to be the best person they can be. Thanks to you and your beautiful family who is here this evening for your dedication to our beautiful West Windsor community. So thank you.
Martin, I'm trying to think how many years I know you. And many, I remember us working several times when you were with the WAC on some of the Shoop collections for the food collections and the Martin Luther King days I remember you from. And I think I remember when you ran for Board of Ed. I think I first met you, I see Carl here, I think it was in his house. I remember meeting you when you ran for Board of Ed and saying, oh, who's this nice tall guy running for Board of Ed, and hearing you speak. I was very happy that you won. And then then when you agreed to run for council, I remember being overjoyed that we would have somebody like that coming on the team, and somebody that would work to bring us together, and that had such a history of volunteering, bringing the township together, always on a positive note, always bringing us be our best selves. And I think you've done the same thing on the council. It's always been about community. So I want to thank you very much for your service. So we're sorry that you see you go, but I know when there's a higher calling for you, then that's the way you have to go. Mayor?
Thanks. In true Martin fashion, I'll start by saying I'll be brief. So I want to thank Martin for his service to the community, not only as a council member, but as a community leader long before he got elected to the council. I first met Martin when he ran against me in 2013. Although we were on opposite sides during the election, we always had a productive conversations. I remember wondering, why is this nice guy running against me? Although neither of us won at the ballot box that year, I found a good friend and a great human being. Many of my associations have started with people who were on opposite side on a particular issue. After the election, Martin continued his quest to unite the community as a member of WAC. He was responsible for introducing so many West Windsor residents to the center. He ran for the school board and had a successful term as a school board member. When Linda and I were looking for a running mate 4 years ago, we were thrilled that Martin agreed to join our team. Martin has a unique ability to talk to any person, whether they agree with him or not, on any issue. He speaks in a non-threatening way to first understand what the other person is saying before explaining his sides. I know many instances where he has kept a friendly relationship with people who disagree with him. Even people who don't like warehouses don't dislike him, so that's an achievement. He has a unique way of expressing himself. I, for one, am glad I don't have to comment after him at the council meeting. He will be missed as a council member. On a positive note, I believe West Windsor has not seen the last of Martin as a community leader. He's taking a little time off to focus on his family and help his kids through school. Best wishes to all his children who are here as they pursue school and playing college basketball, and as Martin pursues his own professional development. I'm proud to call him a friend and want to thank him both personally and on behalf of all West Windsor residents. He will be missed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take these up and take some pictures with the recipients. And we could do some with the council and mayor, and then we could do some with the family. So if anyone, the families want to take the picture, and Allison, if you want to take some of them.
I'll take the pictures, yep.
Who's up, Mr. Church?
Yeah.
All right.
Really good. Seal, right? Great. Okay, great.
Test, test.
Okay. Thank you. Those are some of the good things we get to do here that we enjoy. I'm going to open public comment. It's a 30-minute period, 3-minute limit. Allison, is anybody signed up for public comment?
I do have a list.
Okay.
Okay. First on the list is Sylvia Ascarelli.
Hi, Sylvia Ascarelli, 27 Melville Road. I'm speaking on behalf of the West Windsor Bicycle Pedestrian Alliance. We want to thank you for 3 contracts that are on the agenda tonight that will build sidewalks and multi-use paths along parts of Conover, North Post, and Alexander Roads. We feel these are big gains for walkability in West Windsor, both on the southern end of town and along a busy part of Alexander Road. In addition, we, the WWPPA, appreciate West Windsor's commitment to closing sidewalk gaps, partly with the help of state grants, and making our town more walkable and, yes, more bikeable, since people can bike on the sidewalk. It's a commitment that we have seen over several administrations and that some of our friends in other communities envy, because they're not seeing the same commitment to adding sidewalks in their part of suburbia. As you know, the WWBPA is eagerly awaiting news on when another sidewalk gap that from Van Ness Park on Cranberry Road to the trolley line trail entrance on Rabbit Hill Road will be closed. We know money has been allocated in the budget, waiting on the next steps. And we would also like to see more progress on making it possible for more children to walk to school, something that would reduce the costs of the transportation budget that our property taxes also fund. We were disappointed that you had no bidders for a number of those, to install a number of those pedestrian activated yellow flashing lights that would go near some schools and other locations. And perhaps this was just that the amount was too small for a contractor, but perhaps it is also a task that our DPW could learn to take on as an extension of, for example, their sign installation skills. Otherwise, maybe it just needs to be a bigger bid opportunity for a contractor. So more rapid flashing beacons, which we would of course love to see. And either way, we hope that this will become a project reality in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Okay. Larry Cohen.
Good evening. My name's Larry Cohen, 233 Fisher Place. I live on that block of Fisher Place that everybody uses to avoid the intersection at Washington Road and Route 1. I've been here before and told you that I think there was a survey done and there are over 14,000 cars, trucks, buses, whatever, that traverse that street on a weekly basis. And that was several years ago. It's not gotten better. I was here before to talk about the fact that it is a 25 mile per hour speed limit. Many of the people going down that street speed to make the light because, as we know, the light there is like 5 minutes long. I realize it's only part of a larger problem with traffic. I realize there are other players involved and that the university owns the land on the other side of Route 1. However, this is not a tenable situation. In fact, the traffic on Route 1 is getting worse. And I want to know what the board is going to do about it. That's all I have to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. For those not familiar, we will ask the mayor to answer some of the questions at the end of the public comment. Thank you. Next, Allison.
Okay, I do not have anyone else on the list. Does anyone else in the public like to come and speak?
Okay, thank you very much. John Church, 11 Princeton Place. I just want to thank council and the mayor for their very kind remarks. I really enjoyed being on the zoning board. It started 10 years ago. It just went by in a flash, just like that. As you get older, time speeds up, as we know, and everyone will know as they continue along life's path. So anyway, thank you very much for your very kind comments. It was a pleasure and an honor to serve on the zoning board. And I understand you have some new people coming along, and I'm sure they will enjoy the board just as much as I do. I have a very short anecdote about Orson Welles, whom you've heard of before, who did the famous Halloween broadcast about the War of the Worlds and how Grover's Mill was invaded a long time ago. Well, Orson Welles, after he retired from his jobs as an actor and a director and so forth, he became a commercial maker for wine. And I remember one famous commercial he made. I forget the name of the wine he was advertising, but he said, "We will sell no wine before it's time." And so somebody made a spoof of that and came on later on TV and said, "I'm Orson Welles, and I will tell you, we will not sell any wine before it's time. It's time," he said. So anyway, so it was time for me to step down from the zoning board, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure that all future members and present members will continue to do a great job on the board. It was a pleasure and an honor to serve, and thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, please come forward and state your name and address.
Hi, I'm Andy Bromberg, 24 Providence Drive. I simply came here to honor my two friends, John Church and Martin. I've known them for many years. disagreed with both of them, but they've been fantastic people. Martin, I had a disagreement with maybe about 5 or 10 years ago, had to do with the police officers in our school system. I was adamantly against it. Now I'm for it because of the shape of our United States. And Martin was right, I was wrong. John Church, he's been a friend for a long time. I used to see him a few times a week. Martin, I've seen him all around. I think with this community, not only do we have a great community, we have great volunteers, and we have the right people on the council. People who are just normal people, not looking for platitudes, but just really looking out for the system and making the place very much better. But I have one question. John, who gave you the guitar? Who gave you the guitar? That's right. That's all I wanted to know. Well, congratulations to Martin and John.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Joe Charles, 9 Zaloof Drive. Just wanted to say thank you to Henry Jacobson and John Church for their service on the zoning board. John, really look forward to continuing to see you come back to the council meetings and hear a lot of great input and questions that you always ask and always bring. So it's great always seeing you here at the meetings, and I look forward to seeing that continue in the future very much. Martin Whitfield, thank you very much for your service to the town. You're an incredible, inspirational speaker. I'm certainly going to miss everything you have to say at all these meetings. And I guarantee you, the new guy coming in is nowhere near as eloquent as you. So the other council members, the meetings will probably be a little bit shorter going forward. But Martin, thank you so much for all your service to the community. Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Anybody else would like to give public comment? Please come forward and state your name and address.
Nobody else wishes to come forward. I will close the public comment now. Thank you. And we'll go to administration comments. Marlena? Mayor wants to talk first? Nope. You guys can work it out.
I have several holiday announcements. We have closings and different days for the trash collection. Municipal offices will be closed Wednesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, and Thursday, December 25th, Christmas Day. The offices will reopen on Friday, December 26th. There will be no trash collection Thursday, Christmas Day. Trash will be collected on Friday, December 26th. And residents whose trash is collected on Friday should also place their containers out at the curb for Friday. So we'll have a single day of trash collection in the township after Christmas. Likewise, township offices will be closed on January 1st, New Year's Day. Thursday trash collection will be collected on Friday, January 2nd. So there is no trash pickup in the township on New Year's Day. The town will be collected in its entirety on Friday, January 2nd. Recycling will be collected on Saturday, January 3rd due to the holiday. Public Works is going to be starting to collect in Zone 4. Just a reminder that leaves and brush will not be picked up usually in January and February. And then starting December 26th, 2025, Public Works will begin curbside collection of Christmas trees. You don't have to schedule a pickup of a Christmas tree. Please remember to remove lights, ornaments, garland, tinsel, nail stands, plastic bags, and the like before you place your tree at the curb for collection. Artificial trees are not part of this collection program. If you want to dispose of an artificial tree, you would place it out for your regular trash collection. The final day for curbside collection of Christmas trees, live Christmas trees, is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. And please have trees at the curb by 7 a.m. Or you can bring your Christmas tree to the Public Works facility, which is located at 70 Southfield Road during resident drop-off hours, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon, excluding holidays. That's all I have.
Just a quick question about the brush and leaves pickup, because we have been advertising that this is the last pickup until March. But is there a plan to enforce that? Because I think I'm hearing a lot of complaints from people that there is leaves and brush being dropped once their zones have been picked up as.
The complaint, usually complaints, enforcement is done on a complaint basis.
Okay.
And it's hard this time of year because our crews, as we well know, may be preparing for mixed precipitation tomorrow morning. The rest of the week also looks like we could have a wintry mix. So we will do our best. We ask that residents please report a complaint to Public Works. Thank you.
Can I just, there have been a few residents who have complained that that residents haven't been clearing their snow. Where would that complaint go to in order to get somebody to do something about
Police
that?
Department sees that.
So that should be police department, not DPW. then.
No, it's not DPW.
Yeah, I just want that clarity. Thank you.
And you have by ordinance, you have 24 hours to shovel the snow.
Mhm.
That's by ordinance.
Okay, first the good part. One of the many good things Recreation Department has started in last few years is the holiday decoration competition. And I've seen some of these houses and people do a wonderful job. So this year's winners were announced recently. There are 3 different categories, and this is all decided by some team of the rec commission. So neither mayor nor council members have any say in it. So the town council choice award goes to 6 Jaeger Road. The Tinsel and Technology Award goes to 8 Channing Way. And the most West Windsor Award goes to 11 Abington Lane. Some of these addresses look familiar. There's a map on the department website of all the houses that participated. I would encourage people to go and visit those houses. They're really good. They do a great job. And not such a good note, I have an update or lack of update on the Clarksville Road Bridge. The township and the county met with NJDOT and Amtrak last Wednesday, 17th of December, to get status update on the bridge and work done so far. I am frustrated and sorry to say that I can't give you an update on exactly what the damage is done to the bridge and how long it would take to fix it. NJDOT is still working with Amtrak on a plan to inspect the bridge. This is 6 weeks after the bridge has been down, so they haven't inspected the main deck of the bridge to see how bad the condition is. Everyone from the township tried to explain how critical the issue is and how both parties, NJDOT and Amtrak, need to move much faster than the current pace. I requested the spokesperson for NJDOT to come to our council meeting tonight just to give an update as best as she can about the status of the bridge and what steps have been planned since our meeting last week. Since both NJDOT and Amtrak assured me that they continue to work between meetings. She is not here today, and we didn't hear back any update from NJDOT, and we'll continue pursuing it. At the last meeting of NJ and Amtrak, I spoke about the difficulty of local businesses are facing due to bridge closure. Tim Lynch, our EMS chief, spoke about the delayed response to emergencies due to bridge closure. John Taylor, our engineer, warned Amtrak that the trains pass under the bridge at 170 miles per hour, and it's a real possibility that pieces of the bridge may just fall down on the train since nobody has inspected it, and people who have looked at it say it's really corroded and doesn't look good at all. We got a promise that they will continue to work offline, and we'll have an update before the next meeting on January 7th. I had requested NJ to give me an update for tonight's meeting of what happened between last Wednesday and today, and I haven't heard anything back from them. If there's no progress made by the meeting, next choice will be to go to our assembly people, our senators, and try to put pressure on both Amtrak and NJ to move it to emergency. I want to assure the residents that the township folks are doing whatever is within our powers, trying to expedite the process. The county, NJ and Amtrak are attending this meeting as serious, but unfortunately, the bureaucracy that I've seen will put Indian bureaucrats to shame. I need some Indian people laughing here. So I'll update the people, public on our township website on the same day following our January 7th meeting. In the meantime, Andrea Mandel and Sonia Gavas did reach out to the state and got a state representative to meet with the business owners in Village Square Mall. They will probably talk about it during their council comments. The state representative did suggest several things that will require work, but the administration will continue to pursue those steps to see if we can get any help to the business owners from either the county or the state as best as we can. On the second not so good news is the NJ Transit increased their parking rates significantly. Sonia, as a liaison to the parking authority, will talk about it. It's not controlled by the township, it's controlled by the parking authority, but the rates went up almost 60%, which is crazy. So if you live in West Windsor, that's another big advantage that West Windsor Parking Authority offers you. Their rates are less than half of what the NJ Transit charges. By agreement between NJ Transit and Parking Authority is required to charge for daily parking the same rate that NJ Transit charges, because NJ Transit didn't want them to compete with NJ Transit. But NJ Transit doesn't control our monthly or permit rates. And if you're a West Windsor resident, you can just walk in and get a permit you want. You may not get a Wallace Road permit, but you will get a permit, and that permit will be less than half the cost of New Jersey Transit permit. And Sonia will probably talk about the actual rate increases and give the numbers. So thank you.
Mayor, Mr. Cohn asked about speeding on Fisher.
Yeah, again, see, Princeton University has promised to put a walking path on the other side of Route 1. Not me, but previous mayor tried to put a sidewalk on Fisher Place, and there was some opposition from a few people. So we will look at that again. And it's a lot safer to cross at Fisher Place than on Route 1 if you want to cross Route 1. So that makes logical sense. And I do see a lot of traffic on Fisher Place. I take Fisher Place, to go to work and come back from work. That gets, as he said, he's left, but probably a lot more cars than whatever the last indicated. There's literally traffic jam halfway down Fisher Place in the morning if you go after 7.
I think he was talking about the speeding.
Yes,
Yeah,
speeding, I'll ask
Chief.
the police chief, but apart from that, we'll also see if we can do some markings on the road. Right now, there's no marking whatsoever on that road, so people can drive whatever speed they can. So I'll talk to Francis and see if there's other things we can do, just marking to remind people to slow it down.
Yeah, maybe we can add some signage there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe put one of those signs up that tells you how fast you're going for a while or something like that, I guess.
Police have portable signs they put.
Right.
Occasionally we
Yeah,
can get that.
Yeah.
It's
So
temporary.
start for,
Electronic
just to
sign.
start. Okay. Anything else? You're, that's it?
That's it.
Thanks. Allison?
My only announcement is, the inauguration, reorg, and first regular business meeting of the 2026 Township Council will be Thursday, January 15th, 2026 at 7 o'clock PM, here in room A.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go into council comments. Dan, you want to go first?
I have no comments today.
No comments. Okay, that was quick. Sonia?
I just want to wish everyone happy Hanukkah, to everyone who's celebrating. Andrea, I know today is the last day of Hanukkah, right? So, happy Hanukkah to everyone. On December 17th, we had Andrea and I met with the business owners, all business owners. I think 10 of them came. One business owner couldn't attend because he wasn't feeling well. We met and we had Kathy Guzman from the Small Business Bureau from the state come in and talk to the businesses, because that shopping center on Clarksville Road is really struggling because of the bridge closure. They did mention they are looking at 50% low, like they have lost business. So if something doesn't happen, if they don't get any help, many of them who have been, I think, in business in that shopping center for over a decade, maybe even 20, are looking to see if they may not be able to survive the closure. So we are really trying to help them, connect them with county and state. I know many of them have already reached out to the representatives. There are some grant opportunities. Not many of them can take, maybe few of them could take some of those opportunities. Linda Jeevers also joined that meeting with us, and I think it was a good meeting. Lot of information was given. So they're all digesting that, working through it. I know the business owners are meeting separately and trying to figure out their best step. They did, I think the landlord did put some signage around on North Post Road. I've seen it on Clarksville and Quickest Bridge Road. Maybe there was one request, Mayor, that if we could put some signage on Quickest Bridge and Village Road for the shopping, that the shopping is open. I think that might help them. So Andrea may speak a little more on that, but overall it was a good meeting. I encourage all the residents to help those business owners. This is their supposedly supposed to be their busiest time of the year, and they're 50-60% low on business right now. So that's a big hit that they are having. Even the businesses who are on subscription are looking at the same issue. The nursery school, the taekwondo place, the Kuman, which are all subscription based, even they are looking at very low businesses because they're not getting any new business. And the grocery stores and restaurants are really struggling there. This past weekend, Andrea and I also welcomed a new business in town. That's a good news. A Rahana Salon, which opened on Princeton Heightstown Road, right behind where Jersey Mike's is. So that's a new business that we welcomed in town. So that was good to see that little shopping strip mall is starting to get some new businesses there. So that's really good. Congratulations to everyone who participated in the house decorating contest and to the winners. Two of them I recognize. I think one of them. Yeah. So, but happy holidays and a very happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you, Sonia. Linda?
Well, thank you, Andrea and Sonia, for setting up that meeting. I think it was very informative. I think it went very well. And the businesses in the Village Square Plaza were very appreciative. Kathy Guzman of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority led the discussion, answered questions, and gave out some informational flyers on, loans or grants that small businesses could get. She was also a small business owner, so she understands the plight of when things happen, what's the next steps, what can we do to alleviate the pain. So I hope that the community comes out and supports those businesses because they're down 50, 60%, and they can't survive unless the community comes out and the greater public comes out to support those businesses. So just keep them in mind during this time. Yesterday, I joined the mayor and Andrea at Beth Chaim for the lighting of the 8th candle for Hanukkah. So I'll say happy Hanukkah again. Rabbi Adina Blum welcomed all, and the young children sang a song. So it was very nice. I hope to see that the wave of anti-Semitism ends as the terrorist slaughter of innocent Jews around the globe, most recently in Australia, is horrific. Anti-Semitism and murdering innocent Jews is behavior that can never, ever be acceptable or tolerated. This Thursday is Christmas. For Christians, it is the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, signifying God's love, salvation, hope, and peace for humanity. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and have a happy and healthy New Year.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Martin?
All right. Give me room, because I'm not going to be brief tonight. But let you guys know ahead of time that I just have so many people to thank. And it's been a great, great run. It's not over, it's still continuing, but my time on council is coming to an end in a couple of weeks. So I just wanted to put something together. And this is no chat GPT. I don't do that stuff. This is straight from the heart and how I write. You all know who I am. First, I would like to thank you, West Windsor, for all of your support, respect, guidance, trust, affirmation, confidence in me, and of all your acknowledgement of who I am, what I've done throughout the years, and more importantly, seeing me for me. Of course, there have been a few people who criticize who I've supported here locally, but that typically took place only during election season because they know not what they know. Overall, the general support of my work, my time, my commitment, my experience, and my love for this township has been acknowledged by the majority of West Windsor, which in turn is the reason I was elected to West Windsor Plainsboro School Board in 2017, again in 2020, and then elected to Town Council in 2021. Speaking of the election in 2021, thank you, Mayor Marate and Linda Jeevers, for calling me that one day and asking me to run on your ticket. You saw in me what I had always wanted others to see when we moved to West Windsor 19 years ago, that I simply cared about my fellow neighbor, that I cared about the residents of this town, and that anything I do is with the best interests of this town in mind. I graciously and respectfully answered that phone call and said yes, accepting your invitation to run on the ticket together. I remember like it was yesterday going over to Linda's house, taking a few pictures on those front steps before we made the announcement of our ticket to the community at large. Although we had different political affiliations attached to our name, it did not matter, because the element of the human spirit and makeup of our character collectively showed that we were 100% on one accord when it came to all things West Windsor. And I pray that our residents truly understand that this is not about a political affiliation, especially what's going on in this nation and world, but about the character and makeup of who you are and who you have grown to be over the years, in order to be a dynamic and all-encompassing, upstanding local elected leader. With that, on election night, November 2021, and in January 2022, after being sworn in, we made history together, and there was no one who could take that history away. I honorably became the first Black man elected to town council in the illustrious 225-year history of this town at that time. Mayor Marate and Linda, I sincerely and affectionately say thank you. You have taught me so much, and our friendship has been strong for years. Your longstanding passion, dedication, and positive imprint on this community has been incredible, reputable, and should always be respected by every resident in West Windsor. You've given me great advice, great guidance, and support, recognizing and acknowledging my very own passion, dedication, time, and commitment to this town. It has been great to work with you, and I am fully confident that West Windsor is in the right hands at this time and moving forward. To Sonia Gawas, Michael Stevens, Andrea Mandel, and Dan Weiss, it has been an honor to work side by side with all of you to enhance and progress the Township of West Windsor in a forward manner. We actually have done some great things in just a few years. With so many local businesses closing since the pandemic in this state, West Windsor has actually opened a plethora of new businesses in 4 years, and all of us have been supportive and will continue to support our local businesses. As a council, we have actually challenged where things should be challenged locally. But more importantly, we have made decisions with intellect, decisions with perspective, decisions utilizing our experience, objective and informed decisions for this township that we all love so much. Your insight, intellect, commitment to excellence, and general respect for this town has made it an absolute joy to work with all of you. Most do not know how much time, energy, sacrifice, and work we as council members put into this elected position. It is indeed an honorable role, reputable role, and to work with all of you over the years has been great. Please continue to do what is right for the betterment of all of our residents, and please stay true to your heart, stay true to who you are, and we as a community will then only get better and better and better. So with that said, Sonia, Michael, Andrea, and Dan, I sincerely and affectionately say thank you. My parents are 90 and 93 years old, former teachers, educators, as my dad taught incarcerated kids and my mom taught disadvantaged urban kids for 33 plus years. They have instilled so many valuable character traits, lessons of learning, knowledge, experience, and wisdom in me, exposed me to greatness growing up in the home and throughout this country, and overall taught me so much over the years so that I can become the man that I am. They taught me the true tenets of faith, to love and be thankful to God daily, how to be loving and dedicated to your family, how to work hard on your job while being able to serve your community effectively. They grew up in the Jim Crow South while being able to serve, they grew up in the Jim Crow South, witnessed some of the most heinous things done to blacks in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, but never taught us, my brother and I, that we were victims, but always taught us that we were champions, victorious, and God's children. They taught us to turn negatives into positives and to respect and honor people, no matter the color of the skin, economic background, or political affiliation. I am so grateful and thankful to God that my parents were able to see their youngest son get elected to this town by a majority of people who do not look like their son or grew up where their son grew up. Mom and Dad, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've saved the best for last, my wife and children, my family. We moved to West Windsor over 19 years ago and did not know one person in this town. We moved into West Windsor at the time the only way we could financially through affordable housing. Our goal was to raise our children in a community that would not only enhance and support our family life, our spiritual background and livelihood, but equally and justly permit us to grow individually and collectively as a family in a positive manner. We appreciated the ethnic diversity, the diversity of thought, the educational system, and the melting pot that West Windsor was becoming. Month by month and year by year, we became more acclimated within the community. As our kids matriculated in the schools, we volunteered where we could and basically tried our best to become another positive fabric of this township. My wife and children, my daughter Crystal could not make it, but my wife and children are in the back, and I thank them so very much. So I'm going to start to my wife, Deanna. You have seen me give and give and give and give to this town and to others for many years. With us having 5 children, you have effectively held down and managed our household in positive, impactful ways that most could not imagine. From my days at the Windsor Athletic Club, working 70 hours a week, only taking a few days off a year for 8 years, making little to no money, to the time and commitment that was needed to serve on the school board and town council, you, like a first lady in the church, have always supported my calling and purpose. I know it is not easy to see your husband work and work and work, get paid so little, while still serving in the township, sacrificing time away from our family to help and better others' lives. But you have always understood my assignment, stood side by side, and supported me like no other person could. You are an amazing wife and mother because you have consistently helped raise our kids and been there for me while doing your incredible work in this community. Some may not know that my wife also worked tirelessly at the Windsor Athletic Club, moved on to work for West Windsor Township, and currently works in our school district. See, West Windsor, Look at all the work, time, and commitment Martin and Deanna have given to this township and its residents for the betterment of this community and for all of you. The real champion is my wife and Queen Deanna, because you have paused some of your own dreams and aspirations to support my purpose and my assignment to bless others. And due to your incredible background, experience, and makeup, you have pushed me to be greater and to be a better man to you, our children, and to this community. It takes an incredible, special, understanding, virtuous, spiritual, and strong woman to do what you have done. God created and blessed me with the greatest wife in the world. I honor you on this evening and sincerely say thank you, thank you, thank you, because none of what I have done in this township, community, or over the years could have been done without you. I love you and thank you. To my children, Bristol, Michaela, Bryson, Blake, and Brock, you have had to share your dad with West Windsor for many years and a majority of your lives. I've mentored and helped so many of your classmates throughout the years, and you have always been there to support my work. That too is not easy, and I thank you for allowing me to be me and for allowing me to work my assignment. You too have supported me, stood there when others criticized me on social media or in public, but I've witnessed the absolute and unconditional love, time, support, and guidance I have for all of you. I am so proud of what each and every one of you are doing and becoming. You have made this dad so very happy because all of you are incredible and amazing young kings and queens, and take it from me, your work will always be rewarded. Throughout the years in this district, we have had teacher after teacher commend you on your behavior, your intellect, your ability to work with others, and so many have acknowledged your respect and care for your fellow classmates. All 5 of you are blessed, gifted, and talented. I'm thankful to God that you are my children, and I'm thankful to God that I have such dynamic and wonderful children who have been gracious, kind, and so respectful that there has never been any jealousy for the time, commitment, and sacrifice I've given to my roles in this community. Thank you, children, for your support throughout the years. West Windsor, I will end this speech right here. As we move forward, we need more and more residents who want to truly serve this township and their community. More and more support of our elected leaders who spend countless hours for everyone in the community. If you want to serve, serve with intent, serve with integrity, serve with passion at every level. You do not have to be an elected leader to be a humane and respectful neighbor and to help those in need. Let's be honest, we have a very middle class to upper affluent community. That is a blessing. Be who you are and be great. But have you ever known the name brand suit that Dr. King wore, the car that Malcolm X drove, or any material items of those in the civil rights era who paved the way for a true equality and justice for all? You haven't, right? You do not have to have a PhD to serve, a large and lavish house to serve, or the nicest car to serve. I'm proof of just that. What you need is time, commitment, dedication, love, honor, respect, and a supreme internal passion to see others to be better, to see others to be great, and to see others excel in life. A mentor a long time ago said to me, Martin, how do you meet people and make everyone you meet feel that they are important and even better than they actually are? You have a gift, a talent that you will not be paid for, but a gift that will enrich and empower someone each and every time they are around you. West Windsor, I charge you and I ask you, tap into that gift. Tap into your very own gift and be a blessing to someone else. That's what this is really all about. We have never owned a home here. I've never made big time money, and we haven't driven the fanciest cars. We don't have PhDs either, but what we do have is a love and respect for our fellow man. What we do have is an ability and gift to honor humanity. What we do have is guidance and direction from Jesus and the true and living God. West Windsor, my goal when we moved here 19 years ago, not knowing one person in this town, was for our family to be able to make a positive impact, to contribute to the community, and you have allowed me to do just that. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. And as always, it is almost impossible to go after you. I hope everyone had a great Hanukkah I'm wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year. I'd like to thank the mayor and Linda for coming over to for the synagogue at the last day for the last candle lighting ceremony. I think this year that was special to do. As Linda mentioned, with the very strong anti-Semitism that's gone beyond name calling, the more that community leaders of all types can show that we're all together and that and that we all should be safe. That's really what's important. Shop local and shop West Windsor. Sonia mentioned we had the meeting with Kathy Guzman and the business owners. We talked about some of the money that's available from the state. Unfortunately, not everybody can take advantage of the current grants, so we have been getting some additional information from some other levels of government and other places that being passed on to us by Kathy and some of the people that she's knows, and we'll be passing some of that on, and we will see what we can do with some other levels of government to make something happen. One thing that was pointed out is that if we're not a area that's considered, thank you. That if we're not considered as a disaster area, that there's no extra money, and that's something that would have to be declared separately. So that's a hard avenue, but it might be one worth looking at, depending on how long it looks this is going to last. We came away with some opportunities, some additional contacts. Also this week, I've attended meetings with the watershed on both the Assunpink and the Upper Millstone River watersheds and the MS4 permit. Met with our Stony Brook Regional Sewer Authority at their sewer plant on the effect of forever chemicals and the DEP proposals. Went with Sonia to the Rihanna Saloon ribbon cutting. Attended online. Sonia was also there with me with the Sustainable Jersey kickoff for our grant. And I visited our first Lego League Girl Scout team, the Squishy Sharks, to review their robot and presentations before their competition. And I want to congratulate the Squishy Sharks on winning the New Jersey Regional Core Values Award for First Lego League. It's the end of the year. This is our last meeting in 2025. So I want to thank the council for the opportunity to be council president this year, and to Linda Jeevers for being a very involved vice president, to Allison Sheehan and the staff for all the support work that you do. Thanks to the mayor who does work with me even when we disagree. Sometimes it gets a little loud. And thank you to the public who has come to our meetings and worked with us on many issues. The council president job does a lot of work, but it's very rewarding. Council agendas are usually 200 to 300 pages long, and I go through each item to make sure that council gets all the information we deserve to make informed decisions on resolutions and proposed ordinances, suggesting additional information and making changes. This is not the most glamorous part of the job, but one of my priorities is to make it clear that council is not a rubber stamp, but a very active partner in government. It is through these checks and balances that good government happens. The budget's another big responsibility for the council, and another chance to make sure that we not only get the information we need, but set the priorities for the township over the year. Over a period of days and months, we worked to get consensus on spending before passing the operational and capital budget. I'm proud of the work we've accomplished this year. We've increased pedestrian and bicycle safety, moved towards improved lighting and fixing roads, increased police, EMT, and DPW staffing to improve services. We're awarded the Sustainable Jersey Silver certification and a grant to inform residents about energy savings opportunities. Moved forward with regional MS4 projects involving the Assunpink and now the Upper Millstone watersheds, along with the watershed group. We've purchased new fire apparatus for both volunteers and paid firefighters, put together an affordable housing plan for round 4, attended the openings of many new businesses, and so much more. Our council members served as active members or liaisons to West Windsor volunteer boards and committees. My priority's always been to do what's best for West Windsor, and I want to thank you to all who have shared that priority over the last year. Thank you.
I just want to thank Andrea for all your hard work being president, because we've served, together for a number of years on and off. And it's like you look at every little thing, you go through the agendas and ask questions and all sorts of additional information many times that you want from the administration, and that gets passed on to council. So thank you very much for your leadership.
Thanks. Allison, do you have anything more?
I don't have any additional comments. No.
Okay, then we have no public hearings tonight. And let's go on to the consent agenda.
Okay, minutes, March 5th, 2025, budget session number 1 as amended. September 29th, 2025, business session as amended, bills and claims.
Does anybody wish to pull anything?
No, there's just one bill that's, I guess, being changed, the amount of money from $211 to $200. They're going to change the checks after we vote on it.
All right, Allison, you informed the council, correct?
Yes.
The
I
$11
sent out
change?
an email late this afternoon
Okay, I saw
about an
that.
adjustment to a reimbursement check.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Then can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
Sonia first. Linda.
Roll call?
Gawas.
yes.
Jeevers.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Mandel.
Yes. And recommendations from administration and council clerk.
2025-R272, authorizing the appointment of Eugene Fridkin to fill the unexpired term as member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to expire January 14th, 2026. 2025-R273, authorizing the appointment of G. Chris Lemond to fill the unexpired term as alternate 1 of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to expire January 14th, 2026. 2025-R274, authorizing the appointment of Sanjay Mendloy to fill the unexpired term as alternate 2 of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to expire January 14th, 2027. 2025-R275, authorizing the refund of property tax overpayment. 2025-R276, authorizing the request by Gary Kuknick for a 100% disabled veteran exemption and allowing the tax collector to refund the amount of $2,372.66 and to cancel all subsequent taxes per state statute 54:4-3.30. 2025-R277, authorizing the request of Dunabari Ganador for a 100% disabled veteran exemption and allowing the tax collector to refund the amount of $369.67 to cancel all subsequent taxes per state statute 54:4-3.30. 2025-R278, authorizing the request by Michael Cardariri for a 100% disabled veteran exemption and allowing the tax collector to refund the amount of $232.06 and to cancel all subsequent taxes per state statute 54:4-3.30. 2025-R279, authorizing the business administrator to purchase personal protective equipment from Municipal Emergency Services, an authorized vendor under the New Jersey State Contract 17-Fleet-00810, $11,995.02. 2025-R280, authorizing the business administrator to purchase new public safety fire and emergency services equipment for the Division of Fire and Emergency Services from Motorola Solutions under New Jersey State Contract 83909, $60,965.10. 2025-R281, authorizing the business administrator to purchase 1 new dump body with plow package for the Department of Public Works under the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Pricing System, ESCNJ, 65MC ESCCPS, Class 4-8 trucks, bid number ESCNJ 24/20 23/24, $119,064.49. 2025-R282, authorizing the business administrator to purchase 3 Savin IM 7000 copiers for the Department of Community Development, the Department of Human Services, and the Division of Fire and Emergency Services under the New Jersey State Contract 25-COMG 99562 for Roche Americas Corporation, care of Atlantic Tomorrow's Office, $39,390. 2025-R283, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a professional services agreement with Aqualis for professional stormwater consulting services for the watershed inventory report, $6,500. 2025-R284, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a contract with Top Line Construction Corp. For the Alexander Road Pedestrian Safety Improvements Project, $231,224.87. 2025-R285, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a contract with Black Rock Enterprises for the Conover Road connection to South Post Road Bikeway Project, $272,664.70. 2025-R286, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a contract with Halicon for the North Post Road connection to South Post Road Bikeway Project, $279,925. 2025-R287, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute Amendment Number 4 to the Professional Services Agreement for Professional Engineering Services with Van Cleef Engineering Associates for the DNR Sewer Interceptor in the amount of $64,320 for a revised total amount not to exceed $161,268.15. 2025-R288, authorizing the township engineer to execute the endorsement of the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Treatment Works Approval Permit Application for Eves West Windsor Project, Avalon Watch. 2025-R289, transfer of funds within the 2025 budget, not less than 2/3 vote of full membership required.
Thank you. Does anybody wish anything pulled?
Yes, I would like to pull R273, R274, and R289.
273, 274, and 289. Okay, Allison, I would like to vote on the non-pulled items first.
Okay.
So can I get a motion to approve 2025 R272 and then 2025 R275 through 2025 R287?
87.
I'm sorry, 88,
88.
288.
288.
Motion to approve?
Okay, motion to approve. Linda?
Second?
Second, Sonia.
Roll call, please.
Gauss,
Yes.
Jeevers.
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Mandel.
Yes. Okay. We've approved the others, so we have our 2025, our 273. Would you like to state your
Yes.
reasoning?
I want to be clear for the record about my objection to resolutions 2025 R273 and 225 R274, which both propose last-minute appointments to the Zoning Board of Adjustments as alternates. My objection is not based on the legality of these appointments, and I'm not alleging that anything unlawful is occurring. And I have no objection to the people that are being appointed. My objection is that this process is not transparent, not inclusive, and not an example of good government. Council received notice of these appointments only 4 business days ago, during the peak of the holiday season. That does not provide council members with sufficient time to review candidates, speak with them, or evaluate their qualifications for service on what essentially is a quasi-judicial board. There was no public outreach, no notice to the community, and no effort to build or present a candidate pool. Instead, council is being asked to approve 2 appointments that appear to have been unilaterally selected and fast-tracked. I also want to state for the record that I am personally aware of at least 1 additional application for a zoning board alternate position that has not been shared with council. And thus council has not been provided with a complete list of applicants or application materials. Withholding that information prevents council from exercising its appointment authority in a meaningful way. While the council president may place items on the agenda, appointment authority resides with the council as a body. A process that limits information, restricts review, and leaves council with no meaningful role in the decision undermines that authority and the principles of transparency that we owe our residents. And finally, these resolutions are being advanced immediately before our reorganization meeting on January 15th. There's no urgency requiring action tonight. The appropriate course is to defer these appointments until after the reorganization and to conduct an open, inclusive process with full disclosure to council. And so for these reasons, I cannot support these resolutions and respectfully request that they be tabled. I yield back.
Does anybody else wish to speak at this point?
Well, I had questioned you about, the process, and thanks to our attorney, the process was followed. So that concern of mine I felt comfortable that we did not miss on any processes. And I know that at least one of the applicants have showed interest and applied for other roles on other boards and committees before. And one of them was zoning board. So I'm totally fine with that. And I'm I'm aware that council president did interview all the applicants and spoke to them before putting them on the agenda. So all my questions and concerns were answered. So I'm totally okay with that.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to say anything?
No, I personally spoke with the applicants, and even encouraged them to perhaps check off other things on the application. I mean, I've been saying this for months to people. You want to get involved, fill out the volunteer application, you send it into the clerk's office, it gets distributed to mayor, council.
Because there's no timeline as such. You can, anybody can apply
Tonight, if you
anytime,
wanted
right?
to go home if somebody you wanted to get involved. You don't have to wait till after an election or something. Just get involved. And I've also encouraged one of the people I spoke with for this to run for the school board. We need more people running for the school board and get active. And so I can only encourage. And sometimes people do it at the last minute because they're encouraged to do so for whatever reason, or they just decide they really, really want to do this. So that's my message to the community is just don't wait till the end of the year or something. If you're interested, check off whatever committees, whether it's one or whether it's numerous ones, because we don't always know where the openings are going to be. And we did have 2 resignations late this year. Unexpected. I didn't know that was going to happen, but it does happen, right? So anyway, I know Eugene Fridkin, he's been serving, I believe, for quite a while.
That
he was
one-
an alternate, Eugene.
Yeah. That one.
Well,
we-
that we're not
one we-
discussing that.
one we voted on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's done. The other one is till January 14, 2026. And one is to January 14, 2027. I don't know if the zoning board is going to meet very early in the new year or not. But if they were to meet, then they've got the people on board. And if not, then at the reorganization meeting, we start the process over and then we just take a vote at the reorganization meeting for the appointments. So this process hasn't been, to me, any different than all the years I have been up here. So I'm okay with supporting this.
Thanks. Lauren, did you have anything?
Yeah, I just finished my speech, obviously tonight, talking about serving in this community. We moved here, like I said, 19 years ago. I didn't run for election until 2013 when I ran against the mayor, but I spent a lot of time volunteering, helping families, helping people. And that's why I always say I charge individuals, not in a negative way, but in a very positive way, to volunteer and to try to help our neighbors. Some do it and we may not know about it. Obviously, people don't do it for claps and pats on the back. But there is also a process in terms of not the legality part, but there's a process to gain the recognition from your fellow neighbors and residents when they see the work that you do. And I mean, you don't have to follow any of our paths of doing it, but I did run for school board, council, and things of that nature. But we were doing a lot of work within this community before that. And I think that's the most important thing. That we're pretty much trying to say is to be involved, to get involved, and don't shy away from your involvement. But your involvement will make room, just like anything. We value education here. We value the collegiate experience so that eventually you can have success in life and get a good job and have a good career. It's the same thing on the volunteer side of things. I've been volunteering since I was 9 years old. I'm 52. Right. It wasn't about pats on the back. It was just about volunteer. And the recognition that I've ever always gotten was because people saw that I was doing it with great intention. And I think that's the most important thing. So to anyone, I commend any of the individuals here or listening to the sound of my voice. I commend anyone who wants to get involved in this community. It's very, very important. It's very valuable work. No one does this to get rich. You do it to, enrich others and enrich your neighbors and those who you live amongst and with. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, as our attorneys confirm, there's nothing unusual, wrong, or illegal with these normal appointment procedures, which fill vacant positions and have nothing to do with reorganization or inaugurations. As president of the council, it's my job to set the council agenda. And as our attorney, Mr. Herbert, has indicated to Mr. Weiss, I have not done anything illegal, abnormal, or improper, as anyone else. Members of the zoning board, as are all appointments where council is involved, are appointed by resolution. Anybody can apply at any time. This isn't an election. This isn't something where we put out something and ask people to be candidates for these positions. People put in for these positions. The forms come in. We decide who we're going to put up to be on the resolution, and they get voted on or not. Anybody can apply at any time, and the council president can put forth candidates when there are openings. Each member of council gets one vote to approve or not. There are 2 volunteer boards where timeliness of deliberation is critical under state law, and the zoning board is one of them. After moving alternates into member status, which we have done over the past few weeks, we had 2 open alternate positions. I knew that our very experienced land use manager, who popped his head in here before to be part of the proclamation ceremonies, who's responsible for these boards, would be retiring and not available for onboarding new members after mid-January. Our next council meeting is 3 weeks away in mid-January. I'm sorry, the land use board is going to be retiring in mid-February, leaving in mid-February as far as being available. Our next council meeting is 3 weeks away in mid-January. When it appeared that 3 candidates would be available before this meeting's agenda was set, I did the responsible thing and selected 2 qualified candidates to put before the council. I'm not saying the third person wasn't qualified. There was a decision made as to who had better qualifications. The council is free to decide as it wishes, and has had opportunities to contact the candidates or ask questions. I did not do this in a vacuum. I interviewed all the candidates, all three. I spoke to the members of the council who were not aware of them, including the council-elect, and let them know who had submitted applications and discussed them with any recommendations. And that included all three applications. This is no power play on my part. As council president, I also set the agenda for the next meeting, so I had nothing to gain by doing it at this meeting. I made the responsible decision to put forth candidates to fill these positions on a timely basis for the good of the township and not wait until the last minute. In fact, the council will get to vote on whether to reappoint 2 of them again at the next meeting. For Mr. Weiss to make a fuss over a standard council agenda is kind of ludicrous, mean-spirited, and just another political attack in a long line of politically motivated attacks. I hope it is treated with the lack of seriousness it deserves, and we can get back to the business of good government for West Windsor. In short, I really don't see this. I see this as some sort of a attempt to say there's a power play here. There really isn't. I looked at which candidates we have. I had various discussions. I know, Dan, I had already known about the three of them, and picked 2 candidates. Council can vote yes, council can vote no. If anything, I'm giving more time because council voting no on the 15th of January would probably put everybody into a pretty bad position, so they wouldn't have much of a choice. Council can do that, and then again on the 15th of January, 2 of those positions will be up. Then council will have to vote on those again. This, to me, seemed like the most responsible thing to do. I wish if there was a question, somebody would have just called me and say, why did you do it? And not, written something where lawyers had to get involved. One thing that does cost money, sorry, to the attorneys. And I would hope that in the future, that would be a way to do it. That's why I feel that this should not have gone to that kind of a attack, if you will. This is not an abnormal thing. Decisions, even when things are up and later on, and these decisions at the end of the year are made all the time, and these just happen to be positions that were open and that I wanted to see filled as soon as possible. And I'll leave it open to the vote. Thank you.
I'd like to respond. I find it kind of offensive that you are accusing me of attacking you, where I simply laid out my opinion and position on what I thought was a poorly designed model to get us to approve appointments. This is not personal, and so I'm really puzzled as to why you would respond in such a disrespectful way.
Well,
so I did inform you prior to this meeting being publicly noticed with the agenda about these objections. So I did do it in a way that didn't require this public discussion, and you chose just to ignore any of the points that I made. And so for you to now attack me because I'm expressing my opinion, I find just unacceptable.
all right. Well, one thing, what you did was write a treatise basically demanding that these be removed. This wasn't a question. This wasn't a, why do we have to do this? It was essentially a demand saying that you wanted these resolutions removed from the agenda. And it was basically saying,
Share what I wrote.
that's fine. But it
Public
wasn't,
document was written.
it's a public document.
Yes.
but it was a demand, and I am saying we can differ on that. If anyone who wants to read it, you said you wanted these resolutions removed from the agenda, and that was the demand that was made. I'm saying if this was a collegial thing, at that point, I would feel that when you got that, you could have say, hey, was there a reason to do this? Or what was your thinking? And you could have called. At that point, not brought in lawyers. I mean, once you brought in lawyers, now that became a different level. And that would be, I mean, that would be the way I would do it. If somebody on here put something out and I saw that, I would call them up and say, hey, why are we doing that? Can we think about taking that off? And that's maybe the way I would see it as being a more collegial way. And then maybe they'd have a good explanation. Hey, we've got to do this now. There's good reasons. It's not going to make a difference or whatever it is. And that's, that's been an issue. I mean, we can go into a whole other things that have been a problem. I don't think public needs to hear everything, complaints and all that. But that's the way I read it, that it was taken out, it was a demand, and lawyers were being asked and copied on this and asked to do that. And that's the way I took it.
The lawyer was included on the email with the agenda in the first place, so I was not adding somebody who wasn't already in the conversation. And again, I don't know why you feel like you have to make this a political thing.
I didn't do that.
You just attacked me saying that this was some kind of.
I felt, yes, I felt that by saying that
The
the
comments was, this is not an inclusive and transparent way to make decisions.
All right.
Okay, let me just say this.
All right.
What we have on the agenda are two resolutions to appoint two residents to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. That's what's on the agenda. The other issue being brought up here is a process issue and how we get to make that. But that's not what we're voting on tonight. I can understand it's part of the mix of the sausage making. Sometimes that gets a little ugly.
For sure.
Right? So,
And we can proceed now to vote on this.
right, because I did not hear any objection to the applicants that are on here. But
I
everybody
think
reserves
what,
their right.
what we are discussing right now is the process. And when
yes,
when I saw the email, I did call council president. I did have the conversation. And my first question was, are there any other applicants? And you did talk to me about it. You did talk to all the applicants and we went through it. And, and I think process is something else that if we want to discuss process, we can talk about it separately. But right now, what's on resolution is appointments of two residents to zoning board. So I think we should move with that.
Do you want to move
Yeah.
and call the?
And then we
call
can
the
talk
question?
about, we can talk about process.
This is a
going
conversation,
forward.
procedural guidelines. That's
Right,
where it
procedural
comes out.
guidelines is something
Yeah.
that we would,
Right.
we would have it on the agenda at our next, at the reorg meeting, so.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolutions 2025-R273 and 2025-R274. So I'm making a motion to approve those two resolutions. Okay.
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers.
Yes.
Boyce,
No.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Mando.
Yes. Okay. Okay, we have remaining at this point our 2025, our 289. Do you wish to discuss pulling that?
Yeah, I just thought it was important to separate this out to talk about, since it's a pretty significant transfer. And I understand that, end of year transfers are permitted and some often necessary to ensure continuity of operations. But the size of this, which is nearly $1 million, and the concentration of the funds here that are directed to emergency services and police, I think warrants, our attention. I think the explanations provided point to pressures that appear to be largely ongoing and foreseeable. Things like staffing vacancies, overtime, extended sick leave, workers' compensation claims, and higher utility costs. And seeing these addressed through a significant year-end transfer suggests that the original budget may not have been fully reflective of the level of resources required to support these real core public safety functions. So, and then at the same time, the ability to reallocate this level of funding from other areas raises importance about how those appropriations were originally estimated. So it'd be helpful for council and the public to better understand whether work was deferred or if plans changed over the course of the year, which happens, I get that. So that we can learn from this experience and improve future budget accuracy. We have, as a council, we have a statutory responsibility for fiscal oversight. And so earlier awareness of the scale of these emerging pressures would have been valuable and would have allowed probably more timely discussion. And so, I certainly support ensuring that our emergency responders and police have the resources that they need. I also view this as an opportunity to strengthen our budgeting and reporting processes, especially as we move into the 2026 budget cycle. I hope we can more closely align appropriations with demonstrated needs and improve visibility into these developing variances. Because doing so, it's going to help support better planning, clearer accountability, and greater transparency for both council and the residents that we serve. Thank you.
Do you want to answer?
Yeah. This, in my 7 years, 8 years as a mayor, this is probably one of the larger ones. There's always little transfers here and there. This is probably larger one. So Mr. Weiss is correct that when we present a budget next year, we will take a look at whether they're appropriately funded or not. We will certainly take a look at that. So, but these things happen. These are not on purpose, or these are not done something because we are not, we won't know at the beginning of the year if somebody is going to get sick or somebody is going to go on maternity leave and additional resources will be required. We did hire we are providing a higher level of service in the sense we did hire 2 new EMT and 1 new firefighter. The new firefighter was expected to reduce the overtime, so we will take a look at why it was needed and whether we need to hire more people to reduce overtime. Sometimes paying little overtime is cheaper than hiring a new person because of the benefits involved. So that analysis will be done before we present you with the 26 budget.
Yes.
There's one thing you should know, council, is that transfers are limited to November and December
I know.
of the,
Mhm.
toward the end of the
Yeah.
fiscal year.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, we know.
Once.
One.
Actually,
Per
you can
job.
transfer, no,
No,
you,
you can,
Especially.
as long as it's the last 2 months.
as the CFO recommends.
Yeah.
And then, in 2026, any, transfers have to be, done in January, February, and March for 2025 bills. So we have to keep the books open.
Yep.
I agree, it's not the best, it's not a best practice. Schools have the ability to transfer funds rather fluidly.
More, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no,
They're more,
I completely get it. I'm not really complaining. I just want to bring
Yeah.
to light that this is a good opportunity for us to take a closer
Right.
look, and especially considering the size.
As the mayor said, we've had retirements, especially in police. We've got workers' comp claims that I can't anticipate. As a result, we have to sometimes backfill those positions and the like. So it's not ideal, but I hear what you're saying.
Thank you.
Okay. I
Appreciate
know.
your comments.
yeah, well,
Oh.
now
No.
that we are starting to look
Yeah.
at budget for next year, maybe it's an opportunity to look at where we need to make some adjustments.
Well, and also, in all fairness, the BPU doesn't make things that easy with rate increases, especially with electricity. Water is another issue, and natural gas. And we use a lot of water for the pool. So BPU regulates that, and that's oftentimes beyond our control. The utilities put in way in advance, and by the time they go through their hearings and do their due diligence, we feel the aftershocks.
Just so you know, we did ask these questions when we first saw this of Linda and I. And
That caught my attention.
yes, and I actually made a list of where I felt the big numbers were and questioned why we over budgeted in certain places and under budget.
yeah.
So,
Both ways.
see, we have a lot in common. And one thing we could think about doing, if it's possible, if it turns out, like maybe after 6 months, if it looks like something in the budget is going wonky, maybe let the council know so we have some sort of an idea where things may be out, because I think we don't really see this till somebody asks us for the transfers later on. We don't really see the ongoing expenses, and if anything is going way out of budget. So it might be a good idea to plan something like a 6-month review with council, just to give us a little update on where any of the major changes look like they may be going during that.
I hear what you're saying. We're on a temporary budget for almost 6 months out.
That's true, but that's true, but
That's
yes,
true.
but yes, that's crazy
That is
because
true. I know. It's,
we wind up putting temporary budgets for the first 3 months, and then we wind up extending it. Just if anyone is curious of some of the answers that I got, because I did put in ahead of time, which, by the way, we can do when we get these agendas, we can send in to administration and say we want answers on different things. So one of the issues was the over expenditures were pretty much things like overtime, somebody getting sick, somebody having to be replaced, and not going into salaries or anything, but those numbers add up really fast. And they were in areas that we couldn't substitute for various safety reasons and things. So that's on, and you can jump in, Linda, if you want.
I thought we also had one person out on military leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the
there was,
backup
right.
memo
I didn't-
gave
yeah.
good information as to.
Right, yeah, so there was some of that, the
Sometimes
refuge.
I think we can
Right, so,
anticipate in some form or have a buffer
uh,
specific for
it-
some of those. It's
and unfortunately,
case by case basis.
yeah, you've got a lot of people, and if you're off by 3 people, I can see where that's an issue. The refuse, for instance, I mentioned, like, don't we have a contract? Well, how'd we wind up with extra money? And part of the issue was that we were planning on certain apartments and certain buildings going online, and that we would need to have certain services. So for instance, a lot of that 200,000 in refuse was expected tipping fees, which either people are putting less on their garbage, or also were the fact that there were some new units that never came online this year that'll probably come online next year. So between that, we wound up with, I put some of the big gross numbers together. For instance, the housing, if you remember housing, that was a separate budget that we put in there for about 51K. And that originally, the first year was 100K, and that was a separate department because we were not sure how we were going to be able to handle the new lead rules from the state. And so a lot of that didn't have to be spent, and most of that will probably come out of the next budget because they're aware of it. Then under construction, there was, on the other hand, on the one hand, we had to pay for people that we needed, and on the other, with construction, it was difficult to get certain people in certain positions, so there was a position that remained open for a portion of the year. And we were able to, I think it was down a couple of positions for part of the year, so that money came into the positive side, And I'm told we do have offers, so that those positions will be filled, thankfully, because we really need them.
Good to hear.
But there was a time of the year that we didn't. And another one, there was so that one was also Public Works. There was a situation where they weren't as fully staffed as they wanted to be because people had left. And when you have that hole, that leaves money in the budget. And then there was another 80K for fire hydrants in there, the old fire hydrants. This wasn't a matter of John Church counting the number of fire hydrants, which was the joke from before. This was also something that it was predicted that we would have to put these in for developments that were expected to come online that did not go online last year, that probably will go online next year, but that money was now available because things didn't go on. So for the large, I didn't go nickel by nickel, but for the large categories here, it looks like it wasn't a matter that anybody over budgeted or didn't, they budgeted with the knowledge that they had back when they did the last budget. And this was where, thankfully, they had money that they were able to do these things. So I do encourage everyone to, if you do have questions, when the agendas are available, to write them out, send them in to administration, and hopefully can get some answers.
And I think the backup information was well explained, so that did give us a lot of information, so
Right.
that was good.
Where I think it said why we had some expenditures, it didn't necessarily go into the detail of where the money came from.
Yep.
Okay, so I think we're all kind of in agreement. Personally, I feel we have to do this. We don't really have a choice. I mean, we've spent the money. We need to, we have money, thankfully. We're not in one of the positions of some of the towns where we don't have that money. And now we just have to put it from one bucket to the other. Does anybody have anything more to say, or can we go ahead and vote on this?
Yeah, motion
Yeah,
to
no.
approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, roll
Oh,
call.
Who was the first motion? I'm sorry. Dan. Yeah. Second, Sonia. Okay. Gauss.
Yes.
Jeevers.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Mandel.
Yes. Okay, I believe we have now approved everything there. There are no introduction of ordinances. Now we have a second public comment, which I will now open. Yes, yes. I don't believe we have anybody written
No
for.
list, no list for this one.
Hi, Sylvia Ascarelli, 27 Melville Road again. I wanted to follow up on the comments made by Mr. Cohen earlier tonight about Fisher Place. I do not know Mr. Cohen, but I share his concerns about Fisher Place, the amount of traffic on a residential road with a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. I agree with the suggestion of Ms. Mandel to install one of those temporary "Your Speed Is" signs, both directions on Fisher Place. Gather data and also try to reduce the speeding that goes on, because yes, people are trying to make the light that is about 45 seconds before, and then you wait 4 minutes for the Route 1 traffic. But I also hope this is just the first step, and that you would please consider additional traffic calming measures. I'm sure that the staff engineers, both at the township and the county, can offer suggestions. You can also ask, of course, the West Windsor Bicycle and Pedestrian Alliance for their ideas, but I would say start with your own staff. And that I would encourage you after that to then meet with the residents on Fisher Place, explain why this or that might work, might be something they to try, and see what they would support. And let's try to get Fisher Place in a better place. It should not be a cut through for people trying to get to Route 1. Personally, would love to see a safe crossing of Route 1 at Fisher Place to the path that Princeton University has built that goes almost to Route 1. As you all know, and Princeton University has said it would support completing that with the blessing of NJDOT, which wants to widen Route 1 in 10 years or so and create an 8-lane gash in our town instead of a 6-lane gash, and induce even more traffic on Route 1 and therefore on Fisher Place, but that's a whole other saga. But please help those people on Fisher Place. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Anybody else?
Andy Brumberg, 24 Providence Drive. I do have a disability, so forgive me. Doesn't slow me down too much, but I enjoy everything. Concerning the discussion you had about the appointments, Dan, I did feel it was a little negative. It did sound a little political. And I would have liked to see at the end of that discussion that you would have voted yes, because you're a good group of people. And I think the explanations that were given by the other council members were valid. And we also have a concept in this country that if you win the election, you have a say in a lot of things. So the people evaluated the candidates, they made some decisions, and that's the way it is. And other than that, I love this town, the council, and the candidates who are running against the winners. How come I never see them at the council meetings? I mean, are they really involved in the community? It's a question for Dan. I went to a meet and greet, which was fine, and Dan was there. And I really, really, really was super impressed by Dan. He explained to everyone how the council works, how the township works, but the other candidates there, they didn't really know what was, how this government works, in my opinion. Why aren't they showing up? If they want to be more involved, just show up. It's just a comment, Dan. Show up. Take a more of an interest. I know a lot of people in town, and there's easy ways to volunteer without being an elected official. And we see it all over the place. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you all. So Sanjay Mandloy, 17 Renfield. I'm part of the list of folks. So a little bit about myself. So I have volunteered, and Martin, thank you for your eloquent speech. I really appreciate that. Okay. We all have to give back to our community. And I'm fortunate that this year I have the time to give back to my homeowners, the head of the Homeowners Association. I've been in this county, in this community for the last 2 decades. My kids are born, brought up, went through the high school system. So we are West Windsor residents for now and the future, long time. I have an environmental science background and a software background. So I want to give back to this township as much as I can, as the township has given to me, has given to myself, my family, and we're really thankful for all the work that happens in this town. So such a great town. People don't realize the gem we are. And I've got some of my colleagues from the township here from my homeowners with me. Yes, it is a bigger challenge in our homeowners where we live. We have a lot of people that commute and all that, but we really want to make this a very attractive place for our kids, for the future generations. And, all the comments that I was at the bike paths and the open trails, this is something that we really cherish in this township. So we're looking forward to really spending time being part of this. And I really like what you said, show up. It's good. It's good that people do show up. So I'm really happy that we're seeing more, and we're trying to get even our homeowners to come to one of these meetings on a regular basis so they can participate and voice what they would like to say. So thank you all. I'm looking forward to a great, helping whatever I can in whatever way in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else like to get up?
Satyam Rawal, 78 Renfield Drive. Sanjay, congratulations. I know the transparency that you are going to provide to the West Windsor Township the same way that you did for EPJHOA. I wish you all the best and hope that the discourse will subside as there is the value that you are going to bring to the table. I wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and have a safe holidays.
Thanks. Could you give
Thank
your name to the clerk over here,
We're gonna have you sign in on our sign-in sheet,
Yeah.
for our record.
Yes.
Oh, there goes the sign.
Thanks. Anybody else like to get up for public comment?
Hi, my name is Praveen Sharma. I am a resident of 73 Swallow Drive, Windsor, New Jersey, West Windsor, actually. I've been on my HOA Homeowner Association board for last 3-4 years. I'm in my 4th year now. And I know Sanjay, I'm from the same community as his, state at Princeton Junction. I've known him for the last 2 years. He has been working with some of you already on the cameras in our community that being installed. And I know he is a good community servant with a lot of heart in it. And he is a big problem solver in our community for sure. And he has been leading with a lot of conviction and resolving some of the issues that long-standing we would resolve. So I fully wish him good luck. I still hope that he's able to devote the time to our homeownership along with devoting some time to you all. But I'm pretty sure he is very resourceful and he'll be helpful here. So I thank you, Sanjay, for doing what you have been doing, and just happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joe Charles, 9 Zaloof Drive. I just wanted to say that I, as council-elect, I fully support the appointments of Sanjay Mandloy and Chris Lamond to the zoning board. I haven't known Sanjay very long, but I had an opportunity to interact with him on a few occasions several months ago. And what really impressed me was that, you know, he's the president of his HOA and the respect that he commanded from the other residents at EPJ. It was clear that everybody saw him as a true leader. So I know he'll do a great job on the zoning board. For Chris Lamond, I've known Chris the entire time I've lived here in West Windsor. He lives across the street from me. So I've known him for about 18 years. He's been in town for longer than that. He's been a very active member in the community. He also served on our HOA board in the past, and he is very well read. He stays current on what's going on in town, very well informed. He asked me tons of really good, probing, pertinent questions, and I have complete confidence that he's an outstanding candidate and highly qualified to be on the zoning board. So I fully support both of their appointments. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Does anybody else wish to get up and speak? Being none, I will close the second public comment. And at this time, we'll go to council reports. Martin?
Sure. Planning board met last Wednesday, the 17th. Just basically a application, final major site plan was approved for PB 25-09, which is the Towns at West Windsor. It's a 4-bedroom group home for developmentally disabled adults, which will be located right off 571 between Old Trenton Road and Southfield Road. Human Relations is obviously in full preparation for MLK Day, Day of Service, which will be held right here in this room on Monday, January 19th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. They will also have a food collection for Sin Hunger Packing. And right now they're slated to have 1 to 2 dynamic speakers sharing their thoughts on how to serve the community more effectively.
What time did you say that would be?
12 p.m. to 2 p.m. right
That's
here,
great.
January 19th is MLK Day. Thank you.
Okay. And Dan?
I have no report.
No. Sonia?
I have report from the parking authority. As Mayor mentioned earlier, the parking costs are going up. New Jersey Transit announced a parking increase for bus and rail across the state effective January 15th. Daily parking will go from $7 to $12. By the contract between parking authority and NJ Transit, the daily pricing has to match in parking authority investments or lots to $12. So our daily parking is going to go to $12. Very loud there. They're also raising permit pricing. When I say they, NJ Transit is raising their permit pricing from $294 to 504. That's, as you said, I think, do the math, I think it's 60.
$2,000 a year.
Yeah, something, yeah. That's right, 504. So it's going up really high. Any permit, resident or not, who park in New Jersey transit lots will have to pay 504. Before we had the resident and non-resident rates. Now it's 504 a quarter.
Quarter.
Yep.
Quarter, that's 2,000, yes.
Yeah, so that comes to about 2,000, yeah, a little over 2,000.
2016, if you want. to
Right. And that goes in effect in March of 2026. Parking Authority is actually having a special purpose meeting tomorrow to approve the raising the daily parking to $12. And also the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to $17 in Wallace slots. Parking Authority will also look to raise the quarterly permit from $150 to $210. Not as big of a jump, but they need to do that. So they are looking into that. This will be the 7th increase in 55 years that Parking Authority has been present. Any West Windsor resident who wants a permit at $210 can get in either the upper or the lower one lot. There is no waiting, so if you apply now, you can get it. It's on the not on the Wallace lot, but the
Upper Vaughan is not going to be with Princeton anymore?
well,
I
they're
thought they were keeping that for a while.
Thought they had a multi-year contract.
Yeah, I thought
they
that
do,
was,
I think it's not the entire lot.
it was,
so there-
originally it was.
There's a portion.
Hmm.
Yeah, they,
Right, the
they-
parking lot closer
well,
to the train
they are
station.
going to stop soon. So
Yeah.
that will be
Okay.
available.
Oh, okay. Last
Right.
I heard, they were keeping it for a while.
Princeton, I think, were using the lot closer to the Alexander Road side anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's,
They had originally bought the entire lot.
yeah, but
Yeah.
now I think, and I think they're stopping soon, very soon. We don't have a date on that. Again, just, so basically, the permit for upper and one lot would be $210. Otherwise, NJT, the New Jersey Transit, would be 504. So that's the difference that if anybody wants to take
Yeah.
that's a pretty significant amount. Yeah, when it adds
Oh,
up.
yeah. There's no ad video.
Right, so,
And we're still keeping the free weekends for residents?
that still says stay free weekends for West Windsor residents. In West Windsor lots only.
That's only Wallace.
Wallace, that's only Wallace lot,
Mhm.
yeah. So again, I'm just repeating, the parking authority permits are going up from, instead of 150, it's going up to 210, whereas NJ transit lots are going from 294 to 504 quarterly. So it's a big jump. And New Jersey transit lot is, the cost is same for all, resident or non-resident. There's no different
Look, I know, it's
pricing. there.
double. Hmm, okay. Hmm. So West Windsor lots are a better deal all around.
Yeah, West Windsor lots, like,
With the
if you look
exception
at,
of
if
the
you look
daily,
at
of
it,
course.
it comes to about $350 a day to park with the permit, whereas NJ Transit would be about $840 a day,
But by law, we have to have the same daily,
the daily.
except we have that
But no, but if you-
congestion pricing.
Right, the daily parking, but I'm saying
Yeah.
if you divide the permit
Mhm.
cost, that's how it comes.
Yeah. No matter what you do, it's more expensive. No matter how you add it up, it's more expensive.
Right,
Okay.
that's a
right.
huge jump by NJ Transit, so,
Okay.
but it is what it is.
Yep.
Thank you.
Did the parking authority say anything about what they're going to do with all this newfound money? Any new projects?
Well, right now they're busy on the project with the Pocket Park, the bus
Yeah.
station.
There's a
I
nice sign.
know
up
they're
there.
waiting for their reimbursement of, I think it's, what was the amount? Hold on, I have it in my notes. 36,000.
Yeah, and more cameras.
More
Okay.
candidates.
No.
They are also working on, they're looking at storm management and all of that too, because there are those, 100-year storms and the tunnel fills up and stuff.
Yeah,
So they're
no,
working on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's, somebody has to do something about that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Linda?
But the biggest right now is the cost. I don't have any other reports from any other.
All right, the Shade Tree Commission held a special meeting on December 10th. The commission approved using 2025 budget funds for the purpose of buying 7 2-inch to 2.5-inch 4-foot-high trees. These trees have been tagged and will be planted in the spring in an area by the parking lot in West Windsor's Waterworks area there. Revolutionary Roots will be the commission's theme for Arbor Day next year. The commission will also be commencing work on the community management plan, which is required by the DEP, and the DEP's deadline is December 31st, 2026. My thanks to all the Shade Tree Commission members and all involved with the commission. And thanks to Allison, Joey, Marlena, and all the township employees, all the staff, and our legal representation. Alexa, thank you for being here. And just wish everybody happy holidays and a very happy and healthy new year.
Thank you, Linda. EC met, there were various reports. One interesting review was one of the members is part of the, works for the DEP doing the GIS mapping. And we got a complete overview of how you can use the online DEP sites to check all kinds of things on the GIS mapping, include, everything from flood zones to heat areas. And we found all kinds of interesting things like artificial turf turns out to be a heat island and a big negative environmentally, and other things that people might not have really thought about some years ago. But these GIS maps actually show a lot of that, and you can zoom in on them now. So those are available for free, I guess, as long as you don't try to sell them to somebody else. And I encourage everybody to take a look at them if they're, want to see what's going on in different areas. That's all I have on that. Are there any other administration updates or anything from clerk? There's no closed session, I assume. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
Let Martin do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion to adjourn this evening.
Second.
Yeah.
He still has one meeting left. He
Yeah,
has
I
one
thought she was
planning.
telling me, I know he reported on the planning board. I
Okay.
thought she was telling me
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got 3 weeks. Yeah.
Merry
need an
Christmas,
emergency
Happy
section.
Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks, Martin.
Thanks.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Martin. And I can get an all eyes for adjourn.
Aye.
Thank you all. Right.